What's up, my BBs? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is not something that's necessarily been requested, but it's something, I get a lot of questions on it. And instead of just replying one by one to all the questions, I thought I'd just do a video answering them all. And that is questions about cannabinoid hyperemesis, CHS. It's probably one of my most commented on videos, just with people sharing their experiences and asking questions. And I love how you guys reply to each other and help out. And so I just thought there are some questions in here that I wanted to answer. I screenshotted a bunch of them. And just like a little disclaimer, I guess, I'm not a doctor. This is only from my experience, what I've heard from others, what I've read online, but none of this is like professional medical advice. There's no MD after my name. Ali BBK MD. That kind of works. We'll see. Anyway, so let's just get started. And yeah, if you have any more questions after this video, hit my DMs, put it in the comments, whatever you guys want. I want to help, and I just want to get this information out into the world. The first question, do I have to quit forever to get rid of minor CHS, or is a tolerance break for a few months okay? So from what I've learned, heard, experienced, starting up again will cause it to come back. And I don't know if there's really such a thing as like minor CHS and like full-blown CHS, but it's taking tolerance breaks never did it for me, because I always, whenever I started up again, I would be fine for a little bit and then I would get sick again. And also, not really a disclaimer, just like an FYI, additional note, something to consider. Since there is the addiction aspect to my cannabis use, things might be a little different for me than they would for someone who wasn't dependent on it. So for me, it was hard. Once I would start smoking again, it was hard for me to pace myself and slow down. Do you feel sick straight after smoking? So it wasn't like take a hit, oh, I feel sick. It was after prolonged heavy use. And by the way, I've done a video on this before. If I kind of alluded to it, I'll link it right here, put like a little card if I can figure out how to do that, or I'll just link it in description. So no, not right after smoking, after a long time of heavy use. Once the symptoms start, I honestly, if I'm being honest, I don't remember exactly if once I started feeling nauseous over like gradually, if when I smoked it would make it worse at that time. But if you guys have experienced this, let me know what happened to you. It's different for everyone. Are you still smoking though? I think it's not worth it anymore. Definitely not worth it anymore. I'll get a little more into that when people kind of give their little like cures. I am not smoking. Let's see how many days sober I am. I am 461 days sober, or 1 year, 3 months, and 3 days free from marijuana. When you took month-plus long breaks, did you feel significantly better? So again, I don't like, especially now, like they weren't breaks, or at least they were when I eventually started smoking again. But if you know for sure that you have CHS, you shouldn't just be taking breaks, in my opinion. You have to completely cease any, usually, like, I use the word cease, I don't know, that doesn't feel right, but like the cure, like that I read online, is cessation of smoking. Because from my experience, from what I've heard, it will come back. If you start smoking again, it will come back. It might not be in a week, a month, 6 months, it will come back. I did feel better after you stop smoking. People always ask me how long it takes until you start to feel better. A lot of the time, people will start experiencing these symptoms and then they'll watch my video or watch videos like it and ask, I'm dying, how long does it take until I feel better? And it's different for everyone. It depends how much you've been smoking, how bad your symptoms are. And so if you completely stop smoking, it could take, it's gonna be a rough couple days. I'll tell you that. Like the first like 3 to 5 days are gonna be tough. For me personally, I went through withdrawals, which people don't believe in. I've done a video on this before. I had sweats, chills, couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. It was awful. But you're gonna be in pain for the first few days. And at least everyone I've talked to, that's what they experienced. But after, I would say, a week or two, you definitely start to feel like you're getting back to normal, and like it's kind of like this, okay, I'm gonna be okay type feeling. Except I didn't experience that because I'm like, without weed, how am I going to be okay? Was your nausea throughout the day? I'm dealing with nausea, but only in the morning. I throw up for a bit, then the rest of the day I'm pretty okay. I'm going to cut back to make sure, but my nausea doesn't allow me to lay down in the morning at this point. I definitely want to hear what other people have experienced with this. I think it's complicated because in the morning, like, you want breakfast, and so, like, you might have some hunger pains mixed in with the nausea, maybe. I don't know. Again, no doctor. I noticed it. It wasn't really a time of day. It was when I wasn't doing anything because then my mind was so focused on it, and now I'm going to get comments saying everything was psychological. But it was so... I don't remember a time of day. I want to say like evening/nighttime. It was pretty bad. But it was honestly just like, it was like a roller, gradual shifts, and then it would get really bad, and then I would be okay. And I'm like, all right, maybe I'll be fine for a little bit. And then it would just get bad again. What do I use now for anxiety and stress? So I finally got my medication to a good solid dose, my antidepressant, and I take gabapentin, which is a nerve relaxer. But I've cut back on that a lot. I'm not going to give my entire medical history. And then I also take Concerta for ADD, and that just helps me a lot more with like my borderline, because that just kind of keeps me like keeps the impulsive sides of me a little lower. And then also just like DBT skills, breathing exercises. I like using like ice packs if I get like too anxious and too distressed, whichever word you feel like choosing. My main thing when people ask me for advice is to just keep your mind occupied, because if you're not doing anything, if you're just thinking about how much pain you're in, you're just going to be like in more pain. It took me some time to learn that. Something, I guess, self-harm trigger warning. I've actually never talked about this, either not on Instagram, not on YouTube, not in my videos about CHS and rehab and all that, but I thought I was being clever, and I thought I remembered hearing something about how the brain can't process two pains at once. When my nausea got so bad, I had acrylics on, and I would take my fingers and dig into my arms, which I didn't realize at the time I should have considered as self-harm. And it has left scars. I'm not going to show, but just like little darkened spots on my arms. It's gotten lighter, and I remember seeing after, I'm like, these aren't going away. What did I do? Anyway, I kind of went off track there. Okay, so this one, I'm not going to read the full thing of this, but it's basically saying that someone else's video said that it was a natural pesticide, neem, that could be making them sick, so we went to a dispensary and immediately felt better. And so there has been a lot of comments about this, about how the pesticide theory of CHS and stuff like that. But the thing is, I would not risk it. Like, let's say there was a study shows that that's what causes it. The thing is, like, one, I have my addiction, and two, what if it was different for me? It wouldn't be worth it to risk getting sick again, because I remember how much pain I was in. It's not something I'd wish on my worst enemy. It's not something I would want anyone to have to go through, and that's why I always try to respond when people message me or comment asking for help, because it's truly something that there's not a lot of information out there for, and it definitely needs to become more known and more researched. And again, this seems to happen with dabs more than flowers. My advice: stick to flowers and use a water pipe. So I've tried only smoking flower and not dabbing, but I still would get sick. Other people I've talked to still get sick. There's no, at least for me in my mind, there is no cheat for it. Even if they came up with a cure, I don't know if I'd be able to start smoking again. Like I said, because of my addiction. Like I said, if it works for you, it works for you. But from what I've experienced, from what I've learned, from what I've researched, from what I've heard, you have to stop or else it's going to come back. This one was just kind of an annoying comment, I guess, that I just wanted to like clear up a little bit. Heavy users, well, common sense. Stop smoking such a vast amount. Moderation is key. This can happen with almost any substance on earth you consume too much of. Easier said than done. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, so this is something that people also kind of not attack me with, but they mention when they either don't believe I have it or they don't think it's a real thing. And so most of the comment isn't really relevant besides the last few sentences, and it's prior to the last 10 years in the legalization and mass marketing of weed, I've never once heard of these symptoms in anyone that covers users of 2 years to long-term users of 20 plus years. In short, I believe this is a real problem, but not a naturally occurring problem. I think the powers that are messed with the powers that be are messing with the botany folks, not good. That was the last question. But so, a couple things with that. Again, all goes back to like the natural grown pesticide free, all that. I've already given my spiel on that. I don't know if this really has to do with that question, but, or it wasn't really a question, it was more like a statement. So I think I mentioned this in my other video too, like some people are like, you smoke for 2 years, like you can get CHS after smoking for 2 years. Like people have been smoking for like 10, 20 years before they get it. Well, here's the thing. Cannabis, like bud, flower, used to have like 4 to 6% THC back in the day, like, I don't know when back in the day might be, but in the past. Now you can get bud that has up to 30-35% THC. So that's an insane difference. So to me, that's kind of why I got sick after 2 years of smoking. I also just have a lot of issues. So that's all the questions. Again, let me know if you guys have more. Comment, DM, whatever you guys are feeling. Do your research. Like I said, there's not that much research on it, but it is a topic that has been coming up more and more. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Go subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.